Hey, my people, come on in. Come on in. Holla. Hey, Cecilia, me Bree. Hey, Miss Young. Sincerely, I had shouted you out the other night, but I wanted to make sure that I shout you out again while you're on here for giving me the rundown on that story. Because if you wouldn't have mentioned it on my live, I wouldn't have known anything about it. So, appreciate you for giving that information. 312. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know if anybody else is live tonight. I didn't check. But I got that message on my phone. Y'all remember that day everybody said they got that call? I got that message. Stop looking at this chat. I am. I am. Um, but yeah, I just checked my Twitter. I got a notification on Twitter from the NAACP. The NAACP. The Heart Walker family. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Butterflyness. Hey, hey, hey. Y'all know I won't be able to see everybody's name on here, but before I get off here, I'll make sure I shout everybody out before I get off. So, just got that notification on Twitter saying that Gregory McMichael and his son, Travis McMichael, have been arrested and detained for murder and aggravated assault. For the murder and aggravated assault of Ahmaud Arbery. So I know a lot of people, like I saw the comments on Twitter, and people were saying, Lord, this air freshener just won't let the camera be great. People were saying, yeah, they arrested him, so what? Listen, look, if you can't celebrate anything, it was our voices. It was our voices. It was us making some noise. That's right at the start. It was us making some noise that let these people know that we were not going to stand by and let them continue to let these men walk the street like nothing happened. So the mere fact that they were arrested, because people were saying that they were not going to be arrested. Hey, Miss Fat, people were saying that they wouldn't be arrested. Okay? Now, this stuff really came out, even though it happened February the 23rd. It really came out like pushing hard like yesterday, day before yesterday. And for things to move this quickly because of public outrage and because of the public outcry, listen, you have to take steps. And the thing is, there's no conviction without them being arrested. So this is the start of it. This is the start of what people have been asking for. People wanted to know, okay, they did this stuff, why aren't they in jail? Why haven't they been arrested? Well, darn it, we got it. Like, that's what we asked for. You got to take the thing like step by step. So this part has been done. This part has been done because there was no reason for these men to be walking around like nothing happened. And I'm pretty sure what they did was they gave them the charges that they could give them right now just from what was shown on the video. So you have that murder charge, you have the aggravated assault. I'm pretty sure that they're going to end up taking this to another level, and it's going to end up being considered a hate crime. Right now, they're not at that point. Right now, it's just about getting the job done and getting them off the street. Okay? Because to us, they are a threat to society. Right? I don't know. You don't know if somebody's just going to go and try to come after you for running, walking, like whatever. And me walking every day, I was afraid. So we got to crawl before we walk. And just to see that today, And the report coming from the NAACP, I don't knock them. I know how hard it is to try to get stuff done and to try to carry the load for everybody. When I saw that report, listen, we'll have to pray for things to go right, just like we do with anything else. We have to pray for justice. And these men, just like anybody else, we saw the video, we saw what happened. The son was the one that actually shot him, but they arrested the son and the dad as they were supposed to. And both of them are entitled to due process, just like everybody else. They're no different from anybody else, so they're entitled to due process. Um, but with that being said, we can't sit around and just watch people go and lock other people up and deem them a threat to society. And, you have people going around just nonchalantly and let me not say nonchalantly because that was calculated. You had a calculated murder right there. And this guy, the dad, standing on the back of the truck like they are hunting deer. Like, that's what bothered me the most about it. So, other than the killing itself, but just the way that they did it. I mean, it was like he was in a deer stand, just. So anyway, I wanted to come on for that. We spend so much time focusing on some of the other stuff that's going on. We have to be, pay attention and be vigilant about everything. We can't go and overlook certain situations. And this is one of those situations where just like they did it in broad daylight and just blatant about it, then we need to be blatant about voicing our opinions about it. And we need to be blatant about making sure that they do what they're supposed to be doing. So at this time, I am being blatantly honest when I tell you that I am elated. I can't speak on what is going to happen after this. I can't speak on, what the DA is going to do. I can't speak on what the, what's his name? I can't even think of his name right now. The Attorney General, I cannot think of his name. I can't, focus on what they're going to do. My focus right now is justice, and this process is the start of that. So I'm just, we can't continue being silent. We can't. We can't. And I just want to keep reminding people of how powerful our voices are if we decide to stand up and say something. Not just say something, but say what we mean and mean what we say. Like, come on. Come on. We got to do something. We got to do something. It's not even optional at this point. It's a necessity. We should put a mandate on each other. We have to do something. We have to do something. So I'm sorry if I'm not falling in line with the people that say, oh, well, nothing's going to happen. Well, some of the same people said they weren't going to be arrested. And within 24 hours, I give it 48 because we're going on another day now. So within 48 hours, we had the power to go and at least try to right the beginning of a wrong with people not wanting to even detain these people because of their affiliation with the DA's office and with the police department. At this point, that doesn't matter. You're no longer law enforcement, and even if you are law enforcement, if you murder somebody, then you need to be held accountable, period, point blank. So I don't know, and I know y'all probably like, she crazy, she wants the law enforcement people to get. Yes, I do. When I see people that wear that blue or did wear that blue and that black, that's sitting there flashing that blue line, and you not doing what you're supposed to be doing, no, I'm not gonna sit around and go along with your buffoonery. No, absolutely not. I'm gonna call you out on it. Oh my God, I'm gonna call you out on it. And this is just, for me, we don't usually see things happen this fast. We have to go through. And up until today, these people were waiting on a grand jury that could have possibly met in June, could have possibly met in July, could have possibly met in August. We had no idea when that grand jury was going to meet. The rest of us. Now, at least for what they did, and like I said, they're still entitled to due process. But the one thing that is for sure, we saw that man get murdered on camera, and we saw who did it. So I'm still for the due process. So let's not get that twisted. But you sitting home chilling, and other people are being held accountable for their actions, and you're not being held accountable for yours, just because of some affiliations that you've had in the past or affiliations that you have now. No, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. So, like I said, I'm elated. I am so elated. I really am. That was not the message that I was, or the notification that I was expecting to see tonight, and that really just did something to my spirit. And so, it's not so much that it's a win, but it's a start that a lot of people, they didn't even think this was going to happen. So, yeah, we'll take that one. We'll definitely take that one. Y'all, it might get loud for a minute because my car got to make its little noise as I get up in this garage right here, this garage. But, it's just a good thing. What were you expecting to see? Tell me so I can go find it. What you talking about, Pico? um, it's I don't know. I guess I may sound crazy for celebrating like little victories, but just seeing the stuff that I see on a regular basis, to see anybody have to take any level of accountability for their actions, when they have certain affiliations. I mean, I understand. I understand. So this to me is it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So I don't know. I'm trying to get myself together and gather my thoughts, y'all, because this right here, hold up. Hold up. Hold on. Don't be speeding. I'm not your mom. I'm just nervous. uh, Tirana, Linda, hey, hey, hey. Pico, hey, hey, hey. We can't say now. I think you. Okay, you can hear me now? Okay. I better turn some light on. I'm looking smurple in here. Hold up. Looking three types of smurple. Okay, hey Kim, how you doing? But yeah, it's just a good thing to finally see somebody doing something. And for me, I think sometimes people need reminder that that their voices aren't being ignored. And at this point, we don't know how far this stuff is going to go. We don't know if those are the charges that they'll actually end up facing in the long run, but this is what we have to start with, and as of earlier today, we didn't even have this. These guys, like I said, they were sitting home chilling, so it's a start. It's a start. It's definitely a start. Man. Let me get my cap so I can sit down on this for a minute. I didn't get to see the full story, so I'm going to try to catch that really quick. You guys bear with me for a minute. Hold up. Okay. So, yeah, and we're a little rough over here. I'm just coming back from my mama's house, so it's been a long day. It's been a really long day. But okay. I spoke to you guys earlier, and we were talking about this thing. Get yourself together, girl. Hold up. Thank you. Oh, that charges like that. See? Throw everything out there, hoping something will stick. Exactly. And in their case, there are so many things. Like, they could say that they were, well, it's not they could say, like, it's true. You were stalking him. You were harassing him. Like, you really held him captive. You held him against his will. He tried his best to go around that truck. We saw that on the video. One of the things that the guys admitted in the police report was that they actually, hold up, they got off, like the guy had, they tried to cut him off at an intersection, and the guy got away. He ran in the opposite direction, so they had to go back and catch him, you know, from that other direction. So they definitely have different things that they can go off of. They don't have to go and make anything up. There's nothing that has to be made up. There's nothing that has to be fabricated. Everything is right there. And y'all gotta forgive me, because I gotta moisturize these hands here. But yeah, everything is there. There's nothing that has to be added. They don't have to go and put anything here or try to make this thing look this way, or they don't have to do anything to shape a story. The story is what it is. So, we're going to continue to see, just look at what happens with this. So, let me see if I can get this complete story real quick. Go over this and get my rumpa pump on up out of here. So, right. The thing is, we're going to have to make sure that it doesn't end like the Trayvon Martin story. That's where we come in at. So I'm going to, let's see.
Okay, so the headline right now is 2 men involved in fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery face murder charges, and this is coming from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And I'll just run through this really quick. If that happens, I'll officially move on to the criminal justice system. Like I told y'all, after I get to a point where I can really talk about this stuff, and I'm going to tell you something about that. Yeah, I have my own story. So this thing says in Glynn County, Georgia, 2 men involved in the fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery near Brunswick, Georgia, have been arrested and face murder and aggravated assault charges, according to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Gregory McMichael and his son Travis McMichael were taken into custody. The GBI said Thursday evening they were booked into the Glynn County Jail. The GBI said in a tweet it would hold a press conference on tomorrow. Press conference will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to discuss the case. It did not say when the McMichaels would appear in court. The arrest comes 2 days after, hey Casey, how you doing? Comes 2 days after a 36-second video that appears to show the deadly confrontation surfaced online. Benjamin Crump, an attorney for Arbery's father, said it was outrageous that it took more than 2 months for the father and son to be arrested. Like I said, this happened on February the 23rd. It's a travesty of justice that they enjoyed their freedom for 74 days after taking the life of a young black man who was simply jogging. Yet tomorrow on Ahmaud, wow, you have got to be kidding me. So tomorrow is Ahmaud's birthday, okay? So that would be May the 8th. Yet tomorrow, on Ahmaud's birthday, his parents are denied the simple joy of celebrating with their son. Arbery, 25, was jogging in a neighborhood outside Brunswick on February the 23rd when Gregory McMichael, a former police officer, and his son chased him down, authorities said. According to a Glynn County police report, hey, piece in the puzzle, Arbery and Travis McMichael, 34, struggled over his son's shotgun. The elder McMichael told the police that his son shot Arbery after the latter attacked him, according to the police report. In the video, 3 shots can be heard before Arbery is seen stumbling and falling to the ground. Arbery's family attorney, S.L. Merritt, says that the McMichaels, who are white, saw a black man jogging through their neighborhood, hey Laura, assumed the worst and tracked him down and killed him. CNN's attempts to reach Travis McMichael this week have been unsuccessful. Gregory McMichael has declined to comment because he is under investigation. 2 district attorneys had to recuse themselves from the case, though one said he thought the McMichaels had used their citizens' arrest rights. Let me stop right there. They had the right to arrest him for what? He couldn't even tell 911 what the guy was doing wrong. So they were using or exercising their citizens' arrest rights for what? JWB? Jogging while black? Like what? That he needed to recuse himself or be excused, whatever. Whoever got him out of there, he needed to be gone. A third DA, Tom Durden of the Atlantic Judicial Circuit, said this week he would present the evidence to a grand jury. That's what we were hearing yesterday, and that's what we were hearing earlier today. Once the coronavirus pandemic restrictions against them were lifted, that could be June, July, August, September, October, December. Lord have mercy. The GBI got the case. Georgia Bureau of Investigations got the case Tuesday night when Durden requested the agency take over. On Tuesday, hey K-Baby, on Tuesday, demonstrators converged on the Satella Shores neighborhood where Arbery was killed. Oh my. One or some of the demonstrators said, "You want to chase somebody down? We got over 100 bodies out here. Chase us down," said a man leading the demonstration. "We're a community. We're not going to keep allowing this to go on in Glynn County." They made a statement. I'm going to repeat that. One of the demonstrators said, "You want to chase somebody down? We got over 100 bodies out here. Chase us down. We're a community. We're not going to keep allowing this to go on in Glynn County." That's how you take a stand. My. Just to recap, they put in here. On Tuesday, a local radio personality released video that appears to show Arbery's killing. The captured events match numerous accounts of the shooting, including in many respects that of Merritt Waycross Judicial Circuit District Attorney George Barnhill, and as chronicled in the police report, Gregory McMichael. CNN has not verified who recorded the video. We still need to know who recorded that video because that person was also an accomplice. We need to know who recorded the video. We need to know who was following him when he was running, because he almost seemed as if he got cornered in. He couldn't get around that truck. He couldn't go backwards because he had somebody following him and recording him behind him. So where was he supposed to go? We need to know who that third person is that felt the need to record. I actually don't think they sent it in. I got an idea how that got out there, and I'll discuss that, and it's just my opinion. It was taken by a person in a vehicle that pulls up. Stop it. Okay, they said the video was taken by a person in a vehicle that pulled up behind a pickup truck that had stopped in the road. Yeah, somebody recorded it. That's how we were able to see the video footage, because it was recorded. The video begins with Arbery wearing a white T-shirt jogging down the middle of a street toward a pickup. Gregory McMichael is in the bed of the truck. Like I said, he's standing on the back of the truck like they're deer hunting, like he's literally posted up on the back of the truck, in the truck bed. And Travis, his son, is standing near the driver's side door. As Arbery approaches, he goes around. You see him going to the passenger side of the pickup truck, trying to get away from Travis. So it wasn't like he was trying to run into a confrontation. You can clearly see that in that video footage. Just as he's passing the front of the vehicle, he makes a left and begins tussling with Travis McMichael. Now, what happens is when he goes around the vehicle, like the camera doesn't get what's happening right there. It's like to our immediate right. It doesn't show what's happening right there. And then all of a sudden you see them tussling. And it seems like he's trying to either pull the gun away from him or what. Here's the thing. When the guy was running, they're chasing after him, telling him to stop, stop, stop. Why would he stop for you? I've asked this question. I have yet to get. Why would he stop for you? For what reason? Let's go on. A shot goes off, and the two disappear off the left side of the screen as Arbery appears to throw a punch. Gregory McMichael takes out a handgun but doesn't fire. You see him on the back of the truck. He pulls out his 9mm on the back of the truck. A second shot is heard as the men who are fighting are off screen. I can't say for sure that I didn't know that man shot that gun, because at one point you saw smoke from one of the guns, and we'll assume from the video that it was from the shotgun. I'm just saying. A second shot is heard as the men who are fighting are off screen. As the men come back into view, both are still grabbing the shotgun. Arbery appears to throw a right-handed punch at Travis McMichael's head as a third gunshot is heard. Arbery recoils as blood appears on his T-shirt below his left rib cage. He stumbles and falls in the middle of the two-lane road. Okay, he didn't just stumble and fall. He actually turned around and attempted to run off. Even after he was shot, he attempted to continue running, and he fell in the middle of the highway. Travis McMichael walks away as his father runs towards them with his gun in his right hand. The first shot went through Arbery's right palm, consistent with Arbery grabbing the gun barrel. That man was fighting for his life. What is anyone supposed to do when you chase them down a couple blocks through a neighborhood, telling them to stop, trying to be this neighborhood cop? I guess I don't know what he was doing and why his dad even told him to go on this journey, because he knew that his son was dead wrong. His dad was a police officer, a retired police officer, so he knows how this goes. So why in the world he got his son involved in this mess from the beginning? That's above me. That is above me. But they chased him. You go and you're pointing a shotgun at somebody. So here's the thing with that, and I said this before. If you're pointing a shotgun at somebody, then you telling me you're trying to do some irreparable damage right here. Like, you trying to mess something up. You're letting me know that you're trying to kill me when you go and point a shotgun at me. You trying to kill me and whatever may be in the path of that shotgun when you point that shotgun at me. And just putting my hand over it, knowing that that's not going to stop anything. That's somebody literally not just fighting, but begging for their life. You put your hand over the barrel to try to keep somebody from shooting you. Let's think about it now. That man was trying to live. He was trying to finish up his jog and go about his business. That's the reason why he came out to begin with. That's what he was trying to do. He was not looking for those problems. Barnhill, who said he saw an autopsy report, he said that the first shot went through the right palm. The second shot is consistent with Travis McMichael attempting to push the gun away from Arbery while Arbery was pulling it towards himself. Is that what we're doing now? I'm going to read this again. The second shot is consistent with Travis McMichael attempting to push the gun away from Arbery while Arbery was pulling it toward himself. The third shot, too, appears to be a struggle over the gun. Let's not do that, okay? Shotgun. That's all I'm going to say. Shotgun. Rack. Shoot. When... What am I missing? Because I got to be missing something. You went and got the shotgun. You had to go ahead put the shells in. You had to load that sucker. You got to load it, okay. I just had this conversation with somebody else about something else that happened. So at what point did you put that thing in the chamber so that this man could get shot? Because they don't just go in by themselves. You drop them in, but you got to... Let me move on. Attempting to push the gun away, I'm just not buying that. Even if we gave you the first shot being an accident, Gregory McMichael had blood on his hands when police arrived. This was observed by a Glynn County police officer, who concluded in his report that the blood came from Gregory McMichael. Okay, I hadn't read this before. This is a bunch of bull. Wow. Okay, let me read this. Gregory McMichael had blood on his hands when the police arrived, observed by a Glynn County police officer, who concluded in his report that the blood came from Gregory McMichael turning over Ahmaud's body to check for a gun. You chased him all through the neighborhood, from your son's house and just all over the place, a couple of blocks. He's running towards you. Your son gets out with a big behind shotgun. It's not like he was hiding it. So if that young man had a gun on him, you think he just gonna sit there and let you point that shotgun at him and you standing on the back of a truck with a 9mm? Let's not do that. And you're a police officer. Why were you touching the body? You were a former police officer. Why didn't you turn him over to administer CPR? Why are you turning him over to check for a gun that you knew never existed? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. You checked because you wanted to see if he was dead. That's what you were doing. You didn't get a pulse. Your behind should have started some compressions. That's where the blood should have came from. That's what you should have been doing. Y'all, your son walked off. You going over there, being a retired police officer as well as a former DA investigator. Your job is to preserve the scene. That's your job. You didn't have any business touching anything, especially unless you weren't trying to save his life. So what were you touching him for? And why are you running up to him with your 9mm in your right hand, like you ready to bust a move for a man that's down on the ground? So when I tell you that I am excited that they were picked up, that I am ecstatic, I am elated, I am just in my feelings about this right now, because broad daylight. That's all I can say. Broad daylight. And it wouldn't have been any better if it was in the dark, but it just shows you that people have gotten so bold. So the NAACP, they are now calling for the resignation of the police chief and some other people. So they just posted an update. So I'm going to let you guys see this. Whew. Jesus, Joseph and Mary.
Before we take you back to your coronavirus headlines, we're taking a
It's a
look
start.
at a controversial story developing in Brunswick. Cries for justice are being heard there and all across the country tonight for Ahmaud Arbery. This after video shows the struggle between the 25-year-old man and two men who chased him while jogging through a Glynn County neighborhood back in February. Arbery was shot and killed. Our Alex Littlehills reports.
County leaders say that this case that has now gotten national attention was not handled correctly, and what they want to see are changes from the top.
Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! What do we want?
Tonight, members of the Brunswick community continue what they call a fight for justice for Ahmaud Arbery.
There's a list that goes on and on and on of young black men that was killed for doing nothing.
This Tuesday, new video leaked online over the confrontation between the 25-year-old jogger and two men that ended with Arbery being shot and killed in February. Now, leaders with the Brunswick NAACP want those in charge at the time held accountable.
As a group of leaders, is for the immediate dismissal of Glynn County Police Chief John Powell.
Well, reports from the Glynn County Police Department identify those two men as Gregory McMichael and his son Travis. No charges or arrests have been made in the case. Reports also say the McMichaels suspected Arbery to be a burglar. Community leaders are concerned about Greg McMichael's ties to law enforcement and how the case might be handled. Potential conflicts of interest have led to two area district attorneys recusing themselves from the matter. District Attorney Tom Durden, now on the case, announced he will present the case to a grand jury after the video was leaked Tuesday.
The entire county went up in arms. People that were saying, okay, maybe there's two sides to the story. Maybe it wasn't the way that, they were trying to justify it. At this point, there's no justifying that.
The FBI and Georgia Bureau of Investigations are also investigating. And while the investigations continue, so will the protesters. Complicating matters even further is the fact that this case will not even be heard by a grand jury until at least June 13th, based on COVID-19 restrictions to the judicial.
So this is actually the video.
WJCL 20.
Hold on. So this was the video from earlier, and then you see that they updated what they put up there at 11:01. Let's see, 11:01. And now you see here the Georgia Bureau of Investigation Thursday arrested a father and son in their February shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery and charged the pair with murder and aggravated assault. According to the GBI, Gregory McMichael, 64, and Travis McMichael, 34, were taken into custody and booked into the Glynn County Jail. And this is, I want to get this one nice and big for you. This is a picture of Travis and his dad. And I'm just going to look real quick to see if this story changed. Since they've been arrested, I want to see if the description of this story changed. So there's something different in here. The pair reportedly said they were trying to make a citizen's arrest because they suspected Arbery was a burglar. And like I told you guys yesterday, even before I tell you that, let me finish reading it. According to the police report, Gregory McMichael told the officer responding to the shooting that there had been several break-ins in the neighborhood. Kim Tucker, I already know. I'm trying to keep that to myself. There had been several break-ins in the neighborhood, and that he was in his front yard when he saw the suspect from the break-ins running down Satilla Drive. You saw the suspect from the break-ins. Now, keep in mind that I told you that one of the media outlets, after Gregory McMichael said that there had been several break-ins, they went and pulled the arrest and the complaint and stuff from January the 1st till February the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. They pulled it right up to that day, and there had been one reported break-in, and that one reported break-in was, ta-da, Travis, the son, had left a gun in his truck out in front of his house unlocked, and he's claiming that someone came and took the gun and left the holster on the seat. That was the only reported burglary in that area within a certain mile radius. So they immediately lied on the police report from the beginning. From the beginning. You don't know if the person that stole the stuff out your car was white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian, Haitian. You don't know what they were. You're just making an assumption. And how dare this black guy come running anywhere near your house? He has to be the guilty one that stole from you when you left your truck unlocked with that gun. I'm just saying. Gregory McMichael said he had seen the same man on a previous night and that he stuck his hand down his pants, which led him to believe that he was armed. Story has already changed. McMichael then told the officer that he grabbed his .357 Magnum. So we done went from a .357 Magnum, from a 9mm to a .357 Magnum. Sorry. Said he grabbed his .357 Magnum while his son grabbed his shotgun, and they got into a truck and caught up with Arbery. In this right here, I don't know if they're trying to clean this up, but in the report and what was said to the dispatcher, the 911 dispatcher, whenever they called the real police, he said that they were at his son's house. They were in front of his son's house. They were in the yard in front of the house. They saw this man coming through. He got his shotgun. He told his son to go in the house and grab his gun. They proceeded to get in the truck and find this young man wherever he was at. They cut him off on one street. He dodged him and ran back the other way. They turned around and chased him where he was going. So let's not say that they got into the truck and caught up with Arbery. No, they chased Arbery. It says during the encounter, that's what we call a murder now. We're calling it an encounter. Hey, Groovy family, how you doing? That's what we calling it now? During the encounter? Okay. During the encounter. That's right. Straight cleanup, right? During the encounter, the GBI says that Travis McMichael shot and killed Arbery. Well, they got that part right. But they didn't say that he shot him multiple times. Because if it's more than one, then it's multiple. That he shot him multiple times and killed him. That's not an encounter. Arbery's killing and the delay in charges led to protests and national attention. It wasn't a delay. It wasn't a delay. It was a miscarriage of justice. They were not going to file charges. There was no delay. Let's not do that. This is media manipulation. When questioned about the shooting Thursday afternoon, old Don said that he hadn't seen the video yet. How could you not have seen the video? Let's not do that. The POTUS says, my heart goes out to the parents and to the loved ones of the young gentleman. It's a very sad thing. But I will be given a full report this evening. The Attorney General, that's the name that I was looking for. Excuse me, not the Attorney General, Benjamin Crump. He's another attorney. He made this statement. He said, it's outrageous that it has taken more than 2 months for Ahmaud Arbery's executioners. Wow. Yeah, executioners to be arrested. But better late than never, which is true. This is the first step to justice. Absolutely. This murderous father and son duo took the law into their own hands. It's a travesty of justice that they enjoyed their freedom for 74 days after taking the life of a young black man who was simply jogging. Yet tomorrow, on Ahmaud's birthday, his parents are denied the simple joy of celebrating with their son. The AG, Georgia's AG, Chris Carr, he tweeted tonight, and he was the one that was telling people he was going to make sure it goes before the grand jury. He tweeted tonight, this tragedy cannot be undone, but this is the first step in what I am confident would be a swift road to justice. Key words right there. Somebody done got into the right people's ear. Let me repeat what he said. This tragedy cannot be undone, but it is the first step in what I am confident will be a swift road to justice. You got to listen to the words. He's confident. He has no choice but to make sure this stuff gets taken care of. The 2 local district attorneys, we went over that, recused themselves from the case over possible conflicts of interest. Hey, Tracy. Gregory and McMichael had worked for the Glynn County Police Department as well as the district attorney's office at one time. The recusals led Liberty County District Attorney Tom Durden to take the case. GBI. Okay, we can go after that. And again, GBI will hold a press conference Friday, tomorrow, 9 a.m. in Brunswick. So we'll be watching for this live. We'll be watching to see what happens. So, listen. You can say what you want to say. Like I said last night, you don't have to be the loudest person in the room to get your voice heard. A lot of times it's just about speaking out. You know, there's this saying that says silence gives consent. So if you sit around and don't say anything, it's almost as if you're saying go ahead. You're consenting to it. You're saying it's okay. It's not okay. It will never be okay. There's nothing okay about it. As a matter of fact, there's not an O or a K in it, period. There is nothing okay about it. We can't be complacent about it. We cannot continue to be comfortable with this stuff. Like, we see it on the news and we're like, oh man, this happened. And then it becomes part of the norm. Like, we got another, incident like this happening. And you got outraged for a minute, but it's like we have become completely complacent. Like, it's happened so much that we are used to it. And that is not okay. It is not okay. Because that complacency has helped some people get to the point where they feel emboldened and they feel like they can go and chase somebody, track somebody, stalk somebody, hunt somebody down and kill them. Not even like a dog, because even when people run over dogs, most people have the decency to get out the car, move the dog out the road, like do something. Y'all, you went and checked to see if he had a gun when you knew good and well that. Let me do this real quick. I'm not going to show the video again, but I'm pretty sure that I saw something yesterday. Let me just look at this really quick to make sure I'm not crazy. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. And I want to, let me see if I can get this. Did I get it? Hold up. This man shot this dude and straight walked off. I'm trying to see if I can get this picture, because what I'm seeing as somebody that goes out and does this, you know, walk and jog on a daily basis, this man has on a white T-shirt and it looks like he has on basketball shorts. That's what I'm thinking. And even during the struggle, like his shorts like are barely holding on. I want you to tell me where you thought he had this gun at. Hold this. Oh, Lord have mercy. I gotta watch this one more time. Just. And whoever was driving, like, the camera wasn't focused, so this person was literally refocusing the camera so that he could get a good view. There we go. Like I said, I'm not going to show the video again. I was just trying to get a, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. But he has on basketball shorts and a T-shirt. It's kind of blurry, so you really can't see. But even in the struggle, like you see his boxes or whatever, like from under there, he had on very loose-fitting shorts. Unless he's carrying a little teeny tiny pistol that may be like the size of this little bottle of lotion, and he's running. Not saying it's not possible. Not saying it's not possible. But you did not think that young man had a gun on him. You just did not think that. You completely just fabricated that. That is not what you thought. And I know people say, well, how do you know what that man was thinking? That's not what he thought. That's definitely not what he thought. And what I'm doing right now is I'm looking on Google. I'm looking at the way that the stories are actually being described, because a lot of times, if you look at the wording of an article, it'll tell you exactly how whoever the writer or whoever owns that particular platform or outlet, it'll let you know exactly how they feel just from the title. Oh man, when is this? When is this? Hold on, y'all. Supporters are running a 2.23 miles. are running 2.23 miles for Ahmaud Arbery, the unarmed black man shot and killed while jogging in Georgia. I'm trying to find out when this is being done.
In Georgia, a district attorney will ask a grand jury to consider charges against two white men who chased and killed a black man who was not armed. More than 100 people protested in Brunswick, Georgia last night after
that was last night.
Showing the shooting death of 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. More than 2 months ago is when the shooting happened. The two other men say it was self-defense. Omar Villafranca has the video, and we have to warn you ahead of time, it is disturbing.
This cell phone video captures the final moments of Ahmaud Arbery's life while he was jogging through his Brunswick, Georgia neighborhood. The witness is recording the moment Arbery was confronted by Gregory McMichael and his son Travis, who shot Arbery twice with a shotgun. What do you hope this video proves?
Proves that my son was not committing a crime. He was out for his daily jog, and he was hunted down like an animal and killed.
Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, says she has not seen the video because it is just too painful to watch. Is it something you plan to watch?
It's going to take some time. It won't be today or tomorrow. It may not be much.
The graphic video shows Travis McMichael, who appears to be standing outside the parked truck, and Arbery struggling over what looks to be a shotgun. Gunshots can be heard on the video within a few moments of each other. Arbery is seen trying to run away before falling to the ground.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm intentionally not showing the video.
Investigators, he thought he was a burglary suspect and ordered him to stop. McMichael then said Arbery violently attacked his son Travis. The prosecutor, who previously had the case, says Travis acted out of self-defense and within the scope of Georgia's citizen arrest statute. Marcus Arbery says his son was not a criminal and was just out for his usual jog.
This thing says, according to the only witness in the police report, the only witness in the police report, McMichael told investigators that he thought Arbery was a burglary suspect and he ordered him to stop. McMichael said that Arbery violently attacked his son and the two fought over the shotgun before Travis shot him twice. Arbery violently attacked his son. This is what Gregory McMichael told the investigators. That this man violently attacked his son. You go from saying that you thought he was a burglary suspect and you ordered him to stop, and then you say that this man violently attacked your son who was holding a shotgun, and you standing there holding a handgun. This man violently attacked your son. They fought over the shotgun, meaning that he was fighting for his life with your son standing there with a shotgun pointed towards him, and your son shot him twice. You know what? Let me close this thing because I'm getting even more frustrated by the second. He should be charged with more time since he knew the law. They better get charged or it's going to be a riot. Okay, so they have been charged. They were charged. They were arrested. They were charged. That part is done. Whether or not those are going to be the final charges, That we don't know. You have the initial charges to actually get the arrest done and to detain them. So that part was done tonight for them to be detained in the Glynn County Jail. The prosecution sat on that footage. They weren't trying to investigate or arrest them, and it didn't get much coverage. I'm sick of how dark people, no one should be done like this, right? Hey, Shamika. That young man lived 30 minutes away from my hometown. Just heartbreaking. I have cried for him and his family, just senseless. Society has become numb to lives being taken and not mattering, and sensitive to people having feelings, speaking out, and or gaining any joy in the midst of all this chaos. They want us sad and afraid. We better pray one doesn't show up, that they planted, they work together. Can't watch simply because I can't fathom the thought of seeing someone here 1 minute and not for the next few seconds. I wonder if he'd been jogging in that same neighborhood on a regular basis. Cool BJ, they said that he had been. The guy told the, actually, I go back over it for the people that weren't on here last night. I have a transcript of the 911 call, and the guy said that they had been seeing him on a regular basis. So this wasn't the first or the second time that he had been jogging in that neighborhood. I'll go back over the transcript from the call really quick, if y'all don't mind. I'm just going to go back over it really quick. Moments before Ahmaud was shot dead on a public street on a Sunday afternoon, 911 dispatchers received the first of 2 calls about his presence in the Satilla Shores neighborhood. 50 seconds into that call, the dispatcher interrupted the man with a pressing question. Now, we're going to go over the call, but 50 seconds into that call, the dispatcher interrupted the man with a pressing question. The dispatcher said, "I just need to know, what was he doing wrong?" The dispatcher said to the caller at 1:08 p.m. She's asking Mr. Gregory, what was he doing wrong? This was at 1:08 p.m. So just to give a little background. Shortly after that call was made at 1:08, retired Brunswick Judicial Circuit District Attorney Investigator, DA Investigator, Gregory McMichael and his adult son, Travis McMichael, armed themselves and pursued Arbery down Satilla Drive in a pickup truck, according to the Glynn County Police report. A block away at Satilla Drive and Buford Road, Travis McMichael stepped out of the truck with a shotgun and confronted Arbery, 25, the report said. Travis McMichael fired the gun twice during the ensuing struggle. Arbery died on the spot. So now we're going to go back. And let me give you this right here, too, so you'll understand what happened with the attorneys recusing themselves and all that stuff. So we're 2 months into this thing. There's no resolution to the case, which now sits with Hinesville District Attorney Tom Durden. The case originally was assigned by the state AG to Ware County DA George E. Barnhill. Brunswick DA Jackie Johnson has cited a conflict of interest, noting McMichael's more than 20 years as an investigator with her office. So she went ahead and let them know that was a conflict. McMichael served 7 years prior to that as a Glynn County police officer. Ware County DA Barnhill stepped away from the case early this month at the request of Arbery's family. Barnhill said the family cited a conflict because his son, George Barnhill, is an attorney at the Brunswick DA. So you got all these people that are tied together. So for the second one, Ahmaud's family cited a conflict of interest. And now you have it in someone else's hands now. So back to what happened that day. As for the emergency call on the afternoon of February the 23rd, the Glen, Brunswick 911 dispatcher never got a clear answer to her question, what was he doing wrong? The man said Arbery was walking inside an open home that apparently had been under construction for some time, according to transcripts. Also, Arbery ran, so they had a problem with him running. The 911 center received a second call from the Satilla Shores neighborhood moments later at 1:14. So you have a call that was taking place at 1:08. You got a second call at 1:14 p.m. I'm out here at Satilla Shores, the caller said. There's a black male running down the street. That's how that call started. Both callers don't know if it was the same person or if it was the dad and the son, or it could have been the person that was in the second truck. Don't know. Both callers to 911 that day reported, both callers to 911 that day reported seeing Arbery running. The identities of the callers were redacted from the transcripts of the 911 call, okay. Arbery had been seen recently on surveillance video in the neighborhood, according to the first caller. Neither call specifies a crime Arbery might have committed. So here's the call. There's a guy in the house right now. It's under construction. The man told the dispatcher. The man then gave the dispatcher his address. The dispatcher says, and you said someone's breaking into it right now? The guy replies, no, it's all open. It's under construction. The man interrupted the dispatcher to say that Arbery was leaving, and there he goes right now. Okay, the dispatcher says, what is he doing? The caller responds, he's running down the street. The next sentence is garbled. The dispatcher responds by saying, that's fine. I'll get police out there. I just need to know, what is he doing wrong? Was he just on the premises and not supposed to be? The next sentence, again, is garbled. And the caller goes on to say, and he's been caught on camera a bunch at night. It's kind of an ongoing thing. The man building the house got heart issues. I think he's not going to finish it. The dispatcher again says, okay, that's fine. And you said he was a male in a black T-shirt? White T-shirt, the man said. Black guy, white T-shirt. He's done run into the neighborhood again. Next call. That was from the first call. Next call, 911. Satilla Shores came in at 1:14. This person says, I'm out here at Satilla Shores. There's a black male running down the street. The dispatcher says, where at? We're at Satilla Shores. The guy says, I don't know what street we're on. Stop. He can be heard shouting, watch that. Stop. Damn it, stop. That call went blank for several minutes, with the dispatcher trying several times to reach the caller. The call eventually hangs up. At some point during all of this, Gregory McMichael was outside of his son's Satilla drive home when he saw Arbery running down the street, he told police. He ran inside, armed himself, and told his son to grab a gun, McMichael told the police. He said they had seen Arbery on surveillance cameras. The two men got into his son's pickup truck and caught up to Arbery at Burford Road and Satilla Drive, he told police. After asking Arbery several times to stop, Travis McMichael stepped out of the truck with the shotgun, Gregory McMichael told police. Oh, my goodness. Gregory McMichael told police a struggle for the gun ensued between Travis McMichael and Arbery, during which his son fired twice and Arbery died at the scene. After the fatal shooting, Gregory told responding police that there had been several break-ins in the neighborhood, the police report said. Listen to this. Only one burglary, an automobile burglary, was reported to county police in the Satilla Shores neighborhood between January 1st and February 23rd, according to documents obtained in a public records request to the Glynn County Police Department. It involved a Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol stolen on January the 1st from a pickup truck outside of 230 Satilla Drive, which is the home of Travis McMichael, according to the police report. There's the lie. Gregory McMichael moved the 2011 Ford F-150 from one spot to another in front of the home at around 9:30 a.m. January 1st, forgetting to lock it afterwards. About an hour later, Travis found the handgun's empty holster on the unlocked truck's seat. So much for several burglaries in the neighborhood. And you've been seeing this guy running through the neighborhood. This wasn't the first time. You can't say when you saw him at night. You're saying that you saw him one time at night and he reached into his pants. I mean, do all of us look alike at night? I don't know. Like, is there a restriction on what type of people can run through certain neighborhoods? I don't know. What I do know is you knew good and darn well that that young man had nothing to do with your gun being stolen out of your truck. And if your gun was stolen, as I said before, you need to take some responsibility for that, bruh, because you need to be more responsible with your handgun. You're leaving it in a place where somebody can get it. A child could have walked up to your truck, opened up that car door, that truck door, and took it and did whatever with it, because clearly you did not have it secured. Had it been secured in your glove compartment, it would have been locked, right? In a gun box, a tackle box, I mean, I don't know. It would have been secured. Or had you locked the doors to your truck? Wow. Imagine how this story would have went had he successfully retrieved the gun and proceeded in shooting them, simply protecting himself. No, nobody would have believed that, and that video would have never surfaced. What I think about the video, and I could be wrong, let me say this is just my opinion, but there are several supremacist websites, and they brag about stuff like this, right? It's just like some people that have different types of fetishes, and they may join certain groups and, you know, whatever online. And they take pictures and videos and stuff like that and upload it. And, you know, these people get like a kick out of it. This is the same way that the FBI found out about some of these supremacist groups that were targeting certain groups with the hopes of infecting them with a particular virus. I'll just leave that there. So you have those websites that are out there, and I'm thinking, and I could be wrong, that they uploaded that video and somebody turned the video in. Because whenever they're doing these little websites and stuff, they never understand, or they fail to realize that you do have CIs in these groups. Like, their purpose is to infiltrate your group so that they can see what you have going on and possibly stop something that you're planning on doing. It's no different than, you know, them trying to check for different terrorists and stuff like that. That's why I think, and again, I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong and they say something different, then I'll come back on here and I'll correct it. But I'm thinking that that could possibly be the way that it was given to somebody else. Somebody uploaded it, because you can tell it was more of a game. For somebody to be behind them and literally take the time and put effort into making sure that he had every bit of that video, you recorded it, like, what would even make you think that this was a thing? So you got it, you recorded it, you put it up, and it gets to a media station, and here it is. So I'm just waiting on that third arrest. That's it. We need that third one too. I'm just saying. I saw in some other article that somebody was saying that the person's name was Brian. I don't know, but we'll just wait on that third arrest. Sincerely, me, Bree, yes, it was shown on the news. It was shown on the news. What a lot of the news stations did, like what CNN did, was they showed the clip and they pretty much cut out the part where he fell. So you saw him get shot that last time, and you see the guy starting to walk away, but they cut the clip before the guy falls, and then it comes back in after he's already laying on the ground. But the video that I posted last night, I posted CNN's video, but I also put a little block in the corner actually showing when he fell, when he like turned around like he was trying to go the other way, and when he fell down, because I feel like that's an important piece. You know, if you're going to tell the story, but don't take the part out that's really going to hit home with people. Because most people, when they watch the video, they don't even realize, because that clip was taken out of him falling, they don't realize that when they look behind the guy, that that's him laying on the ground. So I think you need to watch the video in its totality so you'll really get a feel of what happened, because it's just too much. It's too much. They hunted him down. They hunted him down. They're trying to justify it by saying that no, if they would have been chasing him down like a dog, this wouldn't have happened. I don't know how in the world they could justify using that, because the fact of the matter is they did pursue him. They were pursuing him when they were on the phone with 911. And that part is similar to that of George Zimmerman. They let them know that they were coming. They were sending the police. There was no need for you to go and pursue this guy when you could not even tell 911 what he was doing wrong. What was he doing wrong? Except JWB. Other than that, what was he doing wrong? You didn't like the fact that he was in your neighborhood. Okay, that sucks for you. What is he doing wrong? Nothing. Crickets. What he did wrong was jogging while black. And I don't do this like race stuff, and like I don't put stuff out there like that. I look at a situation like all the way around. For this, I can't see any other reason. You can't say that you were afraid of him because you pursued him. He didn't pursue you. He was minding his business. So what was the reason? If you had surveillance tapes or whatever and you caught him doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing, give it to the police. Get him locked up. Pay them back chance we get. I don't think it's an excuse. Handgun dot. Piece in the puzzle. What did I say? They better not get bail. It needs to be made an example. Lord have mercy. Grandma, hey, how you doing? Thank you. Perfect example of a manhunt. What more evidence did they need? They didn't need any more. But they were going to sit on it. If we wouldn't have gotten up and started saying something, they were going to sit on it. And it was that public outcry. That's the only reason. The only reason. They can, but the thing was, the one that was put out, because it wasn't originally given to the police department, it was actually given to a local, if I'm not mistaken, it was given to a local radio station or some type of media outlet, and they were the first ones to show the video. So whoever received it would need to let the police know where they got it from, or they need to, you know, get that computer or whatever so that they can see exactly where that email or whatever came from. And I'm hoping that they did that. They're probably just not letting anyone know. Hopefully when GBI does their press conference on tomorrow, then that will be one of the questions or whatever that's asked and answered. But there was definitely a third person there. So no, Shamika, I haven't heard about that. Yeah, I would say that it was definitely premeditated. You do have some people that are in law enforcement that do a lot of stuff that they don't have any business doing. I'm going to say for the sake of this one, though, we have to be careful because that wasn't a police officer that was involved. He was a retired police officer, but he was not a police officer. And it was his son that actually did the shooting. But himself, Gregory, he was already retired. He's a retired police officer. So I wouldn't put that on all cops. I'm calling, if you happen to be a person that is racist, I call that particular person out for what he or she is. So if you did that, I'm putting that on you. I'm not putting it on the group now. I'm putting that on you. Piece in the puzzle, I can't agree with that because I can't agree with that. If you know my background, then you'll understand why I can't agree with that. So I can't because I know some good people. I know some really good people. But I know some that I would consider scum as well. For me, I honestly think that the people that do this is not about the group that they're in. It's about the individual and what the group allows that individual to do. So whenever I look at something like this, if you did it, I'm pointing fingers at you. I'm not going and I'm not pointing them at them. The only way I'm pointing them at them is if they watched you do it, they knew you were doing it, and they didn't do anything about it. Then I got a problem with them. But nah, that's your baby. You gonna claim that one. You gonna claim that one. You and your son and whoever that third person was. And whatever police, whatever anybody that's an officer of the court, anybody that is in law enforcement that knew anything about this and they refused to do something about it, then they need to be held accountable. I would point the fingers at them. Anybody that sat there and said, you know what, we're just gonna, just hold on. Let's just see what happens. Maybe it won't go this far. Maybe it won't get this attention so we don't have to go and do A, B, and C. Those are the people that I'm holding accountable for these things. The attorney, the district attorney that decided, you know what, we're not going to do anything with this right now. No. Okay, I'm holding you responsible. And I don't even think that they did it or didn't do it because of any type of, and I'm not talking about the people that did the shooting now or the person that did the shooting. I mean the people in these other positions. I'm not going to necessarily, they did it because it had any racial undertones to it. You looking out for your people, point blank. That's what you're doing. This person is affiliated with this office and this person is affiliated with this office, and you're looking out for your people. This is one of those, look, we'll take care of it until we can't take care of it. Because it's one of those things that once it gets to a certain place, it doesn't matter who you know. It does not matter who you know because it's going to go where it's going to go. It just needed to get there. And you had people holding it up because they didn't want it to get there. They tried to help them so that it wouldn't get there. But my God, now we're here. Now we're here. Now we're here. And I promise you we're not going anywhere. We are here. We are here. I can tell you that. That he didn't have a gun. Okay. Whew. Jesus, Joseph, and Mary. That's why the son was cool with pulling the trigger, because he felt his dad knew people that knew people to get him off. And you know what? It actually makes you question whether or not this was the first time. You know, was this something that he had witnessed before? Is this something that he had been involved in before? I mean, who knows? I mean, was this an initiation for something? Like, what? What dad sees somebody, and let's just say, let me play the devil's advocate for a minute. Let's say that he was the person that broke into your truck back on January the 1st, and you've been seeing him in the neighborhood ever since that time. What made February the 23rd that special day? What made February the 23rd that special day where, you know, oh, there he is, like, we're going to get him? Like, what was that conversation before you saw that man walking through that neighborhood? When did it get to the point where the next time we see him, we're going to grab our shotgun and they're saying 357 now, so 357, we're going to go and grab these guns, and we're going after him, and we're going to make a citizen's arrest. We'll figure out what the rest is for later. We'll charge him with something, but we're going to make a citizen's arrest. Like, when and where and how did that conversation take place? Help me understand. How did that conversation take place? And what in your mind made you think that it was okay? What? Because there's nothing you can say to like, help me make it make sense. Like, there's nothing you can tell me to make it make sense. Oh, my goodness. If it wasn't for that video being released, it would be swept under the rug. Exactly. But check their resumes. Yeah, but out of the 3 involved, the 2 DAs that had conflict, that's 5 people that were corrupt out of 7. No. They weren't corrupt. Nobody said they were corrupt now. Nobody said they were corrupt. You had the 2 DAs that recused themselves. One had to recuse himself simply because that person that used to be a cop used to work in that office. So that was like an immediate conflict. They went ahead, he recused himself. So that's not a negative thing. And then the second one, the family asked that the person be recused from that situation because that person's son currently worked in that other office. So that's where the second recusal came from. So I wouldn't consider those to be anybody that's corrupt. Whenever those conflicts are put out in the open, or when somebody notices that there's a conflict, you're supposed to pass that right on. You shouldn't be touching it. You shouldn't even get a whiff of it. You shouldn't smell it. You shouldn't taste it. You don't need to have sight of it. That don't need to be in your hands. So I don't think that those 2 recusals were a bad thing. What I do see the issue with, when it got into the DA's hands, the DA that was actually going to handle it, my problem is that that DA didn't handle it. That's where we're looking at the muddy waters. Why didn't you handle it? Now, we don't know if anything happened in between, like before the recusals, did something happen before that? And then people were like, oh, no, they need to go because this is happening, that is happening. I guess that's something that we'll start seeing as this case starts to take on, starts getting more media attention. You may not want to believe it, but history shows their character. They look out for each other. Piece in the puzzle, the reason why, it's not that I don't want to see it. I'm telling you that I am a part of that family. That's what I'm telling you. And for me to say that they all feel that way, then I have to say that I feel that way. I have to say that the people that I know and that I respect, that they feel that way as well. And I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. I know that not to be true. I do know that there are some people that are straight dirty. That I know. I put my stamp on it. I know. But that percentage, I can't go along with that because I just can't. I wouldn't be honest with you or be honest with myself if I said that I agree with that because I know better. I know better. It may not seem as if there are any good folks out there, but I promise you that there are a lot of good folks. But the ones that aren't doing 75%, stop it. The ones that aren't doing what they're supposed to do, they overshadow the ones that are actually doing good. And that's my thing. The ones that are not doing their job and they're going out there and they're just being dirty and they're trying to abuse their power or they are abusing their power, they need to be handled accordingly. They need to be handled accordingly. But we can't. We can't think that everybody is like that because that we know that's not true. That's like one particular person. I understand what you're saying, but it's like because you have a white person that had a lot of bad experiences with a couple of black people, then they go and they make this generalization about the whole group and say that all black people are bad. Switch it around. You have a black person that has had some bad run-ins with white people, Hispanic people, and they come to this assumption, oh, they all do da-da-da-da-da-da, when in reality, the people that we know represent a small speck on a bigger scale. And if we look at that bigger scale, then we won't accept anybody trying to put anything else that anybody else did on us. So I feel like law enforcement is no different. If people are doing wrong, then you call the people out that are doing wrong. But they don't represent the whole group. It's like somebody getting up saying that they speak for all black people. No, you don't speak for me. I speak for me. I'm responsible for my actions, and you're responsible for yours. Now, if you want to go out here and act the plum fool and have your name all up in the funny papers, then you have at it. But you're going to stand alone on that one. And that's just how I look at it. And it may, I'm not being naive. I'm really being realistic about it because I just get to see a lot of things, and that's all I can say. I get to see a lot of things. And I know that overgeneralization is real on all sides. We tend to overgeneralize. It's no different, like, as a woman, when we hear a guy talking, and he be like, man, all these women out here gold diggers. You ain't gonna sit there and go along with that. No. You might have met the people that you came in contact with, the people that you encountered may have been gold diggers because that's what you attract. But I will not sit there and go and shake my head with you when you sitting here saying that all women are gold diggers when I don't want your money. I don't want a dime of it. And that's just what I'm saying. Those overgeneralizations are real. And I feel like they, I don't think they benefit us. I really think that we need to look at the person for who they are. I give you another example, and people probably aren't going to like this. You look at Mr. Kelly in the case that he's in, because of the charges that he has, people will put him in a specific category, and you have people calling him certain names. And because of those names, people automatically feel that based on what other people did, then this is exactly what he is, right? But you don't know that man. You have to speak on the individual man. You can't put him in a category with A, B, C, and D because he don't know A, B, C, or D. And you don't know him either. So to go and put this one person in a category with all these other people, it has to be based on the individual. So if somebody's saying that he did this, then you hold him accountable for doing this, not for what everybody else did. And you can't assume that because you're giving him this title, that everything that they did, he did also. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I look at things. Like, I have to, like, okay, yeah, I know that this person did this, or they're saying that this person did this, but okay, I got to see what's really going on. Because I ain't going to give them that. You see what I'm saying? That's not going to, you know, I ain't going to put that on you. I ain't gonna put that one on you now, because I never seen you do that. I can't put that. Like, that's kind of, it's not kind of, that's how I look at it. That's just being honest. And that's why I say in this particular situation, work with me, Peace. Work with me. Work with me. Work with me. No, I love a healthy debate, but that's just how I look at it. And like I said, everybody's not going to agree, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me, but that's the only way I know how to be fair. I try to look at the individual and what that individual person does, because I can't really, I don't know your heart based on a group. I know your heart based on the individual, so that's what I tend to go by. But at this point, like I said, I'm just happy that the first step was taken. Nothing can be done in this justice system without that first step being taken. That first step was taken tonight. We pushed them to the point where they can no longer ignore. You can no longer sit there and act like this stuff didn't happen. You can no longer sit there and allow this guy's parents to feel like their son meant nothing to anyone, like his life didn't count. Like he could literally be shot down. I mean, completely disrespected. Yes, executed in broad daylight, and it doesn't matter. Like, you can't, that can only go. Listen. Emmett Till was enough. Let's not. That's all I'm saying. Let's not do this. So, just going back to modern day things, you got the exonerated Central Park 5. Like, we can't sit here with the age that we're in with technology and media right now. There's no reason for us to not know what's going on, and there's no reason for us not to be able to reach out and get our hands on some stuff to affect change. We're not in those days anymore where we don't have access to things. We have access to too many things now. And I'm just saying, the same effort that we put into one particular thing, we need to make sure that we're showing that effort all the way around. All the way around. No one should be excluded, you know. So, again, I don't know if there's going to be a bail. I don't know if they're going to have a bond hearing. I don't know. And I don't know what Georgia's laws are, because I haven't had a chance to go and look up their state laws when it comes to these types of crimes. But best believe I'm going to be looking at that tonight. I would assume, and we know what assuming could do, but I would assume that based on them having that murder charge, that they wouldn't be able to get out before court. But we saw how this thing started off. We know that the dad has ties to the district attorney's office. But we also know that at this point it is out of their hands and it's into the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's hands. And they'll have to answer for things not being done. So, like I said, I'm going to watch the press conference tomorrow to see what they say about everything that's going on, see if it makes sense. I'll be sitting there taking notes, seeing how, what finally made that light come on tonight to say, oh, well, we got to arrest these guys. Like, what made you finally make that decision today? Yeah, we got the public outcry, but what made you make that decision today? Because somebody got a phone call, somebody got an email, somebody had that epiphany moment. So where did that moment come in at tonight for y'all to say, look, we got to go ahead and pick these jokers up because we got a problem? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that and see if there's any mention of them just talking from the beginning. And they're going to say, you know, it's an ongoing investigation, but if there's any talk of them going ahead and considering federal charges. So we'll see. But any member of the law enforcement community that has a lick of sense is not going along with no citizens arrest bull. That's just a bunch of bull. That is a bunch of bull. And you still didn't say what you were trying to arrest him for as a citizen. That's just a bunch of boo-fa-lay. Like, that's what it is. Oh my God. That was definitely an agree to disagree issue, just like you said, Material Central Park Fire Trip. I'm sure they have enough of my children here as trophies. It's a lot. It's a lot. It definitely is a lot. It's a lot. That's all I can tell you. It's a lot. You know, at the end of the day, we could find out that, you know, the DAs or whoever, we could find out that they had some other stuff going on. It's quite possible. But to jump to that conclusion from the jump, then we're not being fair. We're not, you know, being just, as we want other people to be just and not jump to conclusions on other things. So I say we just watch and see how this pans out. See what new information we may be provided by the people that are actually investigating the case. And I'm thankful that it's no longer in the local authorities' hands, that it has been taken out of their hands. And that kind of, it's not a like a sure thing, but at least it takes that, some of that desire that somebody may have to want to contaminate things and, you know, omit things and overlook things. So I'm praying that ends up working out in Ahmaud's favor, because he deserves nothing less than justice for what happened to him, because that treatment was inhumane, and that's just what it is. It was definitely inhumane. So I've kept you guys on here long enough. If I missed your name, I am sorry. But hey, to everybody that came in, thank you to everyone that came in. Thank you to Peace and the Puzzle for giving us a little, you know, feedback, you know, that gets people thinking. Thank you, Sincerely McBree, for your feedback. Anybody that I may have overlooked, Shamika, Groovy Family. It was like certain people that were putting a lot of stuff in the comments. So thank you for the feedback on that, for the interaction with that, because it gets people thinking, like one way or the other, it gets people thinking. So I always encourage that, definitely in the chats. And y'all, let's just see what happens, man. But if nothing else, even if you don't want to accept it as a victory, I see it as a victory, even if it's small, that I feel like our voices were heard. Even if they were forced to hear those voices, I feel like our voices were heard. So we don't mind being persistent. If we got to be persistent and consistent to get you to see what's going on, hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, you were able to sit home and chill, take advantage of this quarantine for 74 days. So now you'll further be able to, you know, take advantage of the quarantine and just be in a different location until we get these things worked out. So that's where we are. And that's how the system is supposed to work on that. I mean, if you're going to do it to other people, if you're going to arrest other people and hold them, until court. I'm just saying, if you're going to label other people as being a threat to the community or a threat to society, you know, y'all know where I'm going. This is another one of those times with Dr. Rogers talking in riddles. Y'all know where I'm going with that. So, again, you guys be safe. Stay home if you can. And just get ready for the fight. For those of you that are, you know, really about this life and you want to see some changes being made, then just get ready for the fight. And I'll save that for this weekend. But yeah, I thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I thank you for the interactions on here. Appreciate your piece in the puzzle. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video on your way going out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel. I don't always say that, and I keep having people say, Dr. Rogers, you're supposed to tell them to respond. You're supposed to tell them to subscribe. So please subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to get off here because I think this is like my third time on here tonight. So appreciate y'all for watching. Sincerely, Bree, thank you again for making me aware of what was going on with Ahmaud, because I honestly hadn't heard anything about it. Y'all know my mind was in a completely different place, so appreciate you for that. Somebody else put something about another situation happening in here. I don't know if it was in Houston or I can't remember, but I'll go back and get that information so I can go and check on that as well. And as things happen, I'll continue to bring this information to you. Until next time, let's be thankful for the small victory that we have. It doesn't matter how small, we have to celebrate every milestone. So, you know, let's just be thankful that someone's eyes were open, even if they were forced open. Let's be thankful that somebody's eyes were opened. Indianapolis. Okay. That's what I was trying to think about, Shamika. I couldn't remember exactly where it was. Kendrick Johnson. Is that the right name, Kendrick Johnson? Okay. Appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate that. So I'll go and check that out, too. Hold up. I'm seeing another name. Dreesian. I'll check both out. But in the meantime and in between times, you guys take care of yourself. Be safe. Love each other. And treat people the way that you want to be treated and the way they want to be treated. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you have a blessed night. Bye.